Brian K. Morris comes an epic tale of armor forged by a god, a hero forged by courage, and an ancient menace poised to re-emerge and threaten our world. Volcana, Rebirth of the Champion, is available on Amazon.com. Get your copy today.
Seconds.
Welcome to Clever Title Pending, a proud member of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. We talk to creatives about creativity and the business behind them. So type in your questions and become part of the conversation. And now, here's your host, Brian K. Morris.
Hello there, how the heck are you? Welcome to the Tuesday, June 1st. Yes, June 1st, 2021 edition of Clever Title Pending. And I'm excited. We've got a returning guest, Michael Watson. He is hashtag mostepic, and you're about to find out why. We had him previously on the February 2nd show, but I can't keep him away. I have such a good time. We got to have him back on here more often. So anyway, please check out the previous show, and we're going to learn a little bit more about Michael tonight. We welcome your questions as you interrogate him about his current project here. And there it is. We're going to have that take up the screen. It is HOTSHOT. It is a book that's funding right now on Kickstarter. It is made its $6,000 goal, met fully funded in 42 hours, which is really, really cool. And the next stretch goal is at 7,500. And as you can see, he's $31 away from that 7,500. So let's put him over the top tonight, can we please? All right, let's show him how Nevermorians work around here. But anyway, thank you for being here, and we appreciate you greatly. Whether you're watching us live or you're watching us on the rerun, please leave a comment down below, on especially on YouTube, and we will try to reply to it if you didn't watch us while we are happening live. But anyway, we also want to thank Plasma Fire Graphics. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it matters to your customers, and that's what turns them into customers. It's a great looking book, plus promo material, a fantastic trailer like you saw a couple at the start of the show. So check out Plasma Fire Graphics, see what Jeffrey Hayes can do for you very affordably at plasmafiregraphics.com. Also, don't forget their Facebook page, because he's awesome. All right, Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. Also, this is powered by the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Oh, please, please, please take a screenshot of that. We have got programming 7 days a week, catching you on all the entertainment and information you could possibly want. And we've got a couple more shows going to join the network soon that we are on the move. So please check it out. And whatever you have a fandom for, we've probably got a show for it. So please check it out 7 days a week. Also, we want to thank our patrons on Patreon. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you can support your favorite creators directly. And these people are supporting the Rising Tide. God bless them. And it helps keep this show on the air and looking as good as it can. And also, they have some Kickstarter, or rather, some Patreon pages of their own. So please check them out as well. But you're not just putting money in my pocket. We're going to give you stuff in return, like I mentioned on our shows, our publications, access to our private blog, and looks at works in progress. So check it out. Check out what we have to offer at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And the folks who support us on Patreon at the $10 level a month also get a copy of this, my brand new publication, Snow Ambition, fourth in the Snow Shorts series featuring Abraham Snow. If you like quick read crime fiction, this is what you need. So check out Snow Shorts and Snow Ambition, fourth in the series. So get it today if you can. Only 99 cents on Amazon.com. And I think that's all the promotion I have for now. Now we got to get my man in here, the one, the only, most epic man himself, Mr. Michael Watson. Michael, how are you this evening, sir?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am awesome, man. You are a busy fellow, are you not?
This is called the road of promotions. You got a Kickstarter. You got to get out to as many places as you can. So thank you for allowing me to come kick it with you again.
Oh, damn. I mean, it's my pleasure, believe me. I don't get to talk to you enough as it is. So what we're going to do, Michael, you know the routine here. And again, please, folks, refer to the February 2nd edition of the show, especially on YouTube. And please like, share, and subscribe while you're there, because Michael's not the only one who's promoting on this show. Let me tell you that right now. But anyway, Michael, we're going to give you the floor and all the dirt on it. But tell these people who you are and how magnificent you are.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Well, I'm the founder and publisher of Freestyle Comics. I am 1/4 of the Agents of Nerdy. I am the host and artist for Chat and Draw, and the most enthusiastic person in comics, aka Most Epic. You can find me on social media as Most Epic Art. And Freestyle Comics is my brand where I live and breathe and create stories that I think everybody will find relatable, fun, action, and adventurous. So I am currently doing a Kickstarter right now for the HOTSHOT Collection. And when I say collection, I do mean collection. It is collecting the first 10 issues of HOTSHOT. We are making those available through 2 trades that you can pick up through this Kickstarter, but also we're making the entirety of the FSK library available, which brings that to a total of 19 comic books in total. Once we get done with this and we deliver on it, we're launching into our very next comic book, which is done, called Emerald Quest. So we have a very aggressive release schedule over the next year and a half, and this Kickstarter is your train ticket to all the fun and good times. So you do not want to miss your ride.
Most definitely. And I noticed you only did that in 2 breaths. I'm very proud of you, Michael. That's not bad at all. I mean, Michael makes me look like I'm on some sort of narcotic or something. You know, like I just visit the opium den. He is the most enthusiastic, and it rubs off. It's great. I'm going to put you and Nicholas Anthony Tockert on the show one time, and I'm going to leave and have a beer and pizza. You'll never know I'm gone. So anyway, let's start this off with a view of how about we show your video for your project here. How's that sound?
Cool.
All right, let's see if I can do it right this time. Here we go. I learned stuff, so here we go.
Oh, yeah. You know, we're always learning.
There we go. Beautiful video there, man. Seriously, that's cool. That is very cool. Let me get that out there so we can talk. And it's about us now. No, that's beautiful. I love the fact that it is a dynamic video, and with some good quotes in there from people who have obviously read it, and it's short.
Yeah,
because my attention span is not getting any longer these days. So.
When you go to these comic book conventions, you're on virtually talking with people. You realize you got to get your point out there quickly, and it's actually a trend that I noticed the last couple years with movie trailers. They would do a 45-second to 1 minute clip to accommodate the 2 or 3 minute trailer or whatnot. So I've always tried, since I've seen that, I've always tried to keep my videos under a minute.
Good deal. So tell us about HOTSHOT. What's the genesis of the comic, and what's it about? And Why is it? It seems like a very personal project for you.
Oh, it is. It is. It's the flagship title for me at Freestyle Comics. It deals with a lot of stuff that I dealt with in college. The premise of it is he's a young man in college trying to prove to his girlfriend he's not cheating on her without revealing he's a superhero, but then also not get kicked out of college because he's never there because he is said superhero. And the whole, how it all came about was when I was in college, I went through what, at the time I thought was the most tragic breakup of my life. And I was a resident advisor. So I would go out of my dorm. I'd do my job. I'd work at my job. I'd, help the freshmen out. I'd, be smiling and laughing and everything. And then I'd come back to my dorm room and fall out on my floor and I start crying because I couldn't deal with all this stuff. So I never got diagnosed with anything, but in my eyes, that was probably like the closest I could imagine what it felt like to be depressed and going through something like that. And the more and more it happened, the more and more I thought about it because, I was still reading comic books or whatnot. And, it started getting on my nerves how Peter Parker could always get back with Mary Jane, no matter what, they always got back together. And it got me to thinking, what if the hero did not get back with the partner? What if the story or the foundational story was dealing with not getting that relationship back, but you still had to balance life, you still had to balance school, you still had to balance this heroic thing that's been thrust in your lap. How does our hero get through that? How does our hero handle that? And that's when I really started to formulate the story of HOTSHOT and where it was going. Then luckily for me, I met a guy named Victor Dandridge who rewrote that story and made it better.
He's a great writer.
Yes, he is.
That's cool. Now, I saw that you have 100-issue goal.
Yes.
Okay.
HOTSHOT is plotted for 100 issues. The first 50 issues are pretty thoroughly laid out for what we want to happen, and then the next 50 issues after that, about 2 to 3 sentences of a premise of where we're going. HOTSHOT has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Specifically, the character of Mike Watson as HOTSHOT has a beginning, middle, and end, and all the books that are coinciding with it, such as Vigilance, Heroes International, Emerald Quest, the Cipher, soon to be released Tajishi Gates, and the Zero Event, and our book called The Source Book. They all tie into a pretty grand design of where we're going, and this Kickstarter is going to help us be able to get more of that content out to people on a more thorough basis, because we've had our ups and downs. I've had my failures and I've had my successes, and I've got some good people around me, and I think that we have created a very strong production plan to get content out, and that's our goal, to get content out and get these books out and tell these stories. But yeah, I've always envisioned HOTSHOT having a end. And specifically this character having an end with the series, just because I'm a huge fan of stories like Invincible and Naruto, and even though while Naruto went on to be Boruto or whatnot, but the story arc of Naruto did have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and I think that adds. While I love Spider-Man, while I love Batman, Wonder Woman, and all these stories, I feel that adds so much more gravity, knowing that there is an impending final issue coming. Like, there is an end goal that these characters are going to have to deal with. Who's going to survive to be there for it, and what is it going to look like when we get there?
Now, first of all, later we'll ask you where you got the name for your protagonist there. But it's like, is this 100 issues of the book, the main book itself, or are you going to cheat and count all the tie-ins too?
Now, a more practical creator, I think it's going to be a bit of both. While we do have 100 issues plotted for HOTSHOT, the way that we're starting to incorporate the other books into the story, there may be some cheating. It may end up being around 150 issues total with all the books in all. But we're, with the writing team that I have on these books, we're starting to learn that, everything doesn't have to happen in the HOTSHOT book. We have all these other titles with these other characters, and important things can happen over there just as well. So I had a feeling that was going to be your next question. But yeah, so because even though we haven't plotted out, Danny and I are always in Messenger, we're always on phone with each other. So things change. Like I started working with Travis Gibb,
Mhm.
and Travis Gibb, we've done a lot of stuff together, and he wrote me a one shot for Hot Shot. So that's going to be cool. So we want to put that in there. Danny came up with a great idea that we're doing for a one shot. So I've got a 4-part story arc that I'm finishing up with Hot Shot that ends on issue 10, 11, 12. That ends on issue 13. We're going to do Danny's one shot story. Then we're doing Travis's one shot story. Then we're going to go back to where we were going with our plot. But even as we go through this stuff, that may, things may move around, things may switch around because looking at some of the stuff that we had on there, stuff has already changed with, some of the issues that we've done and whatnot. It's like, I did come up with this stuff like, 5 or 6 years ago when I was writing this down. And I would like to think that we as creatives of Freestyle Comics, that we've grown in our creativity and, we've made some modifications as we go.
Okay, that's very cool. Very cool. Now, now I noticed one of the things you're offering in your Kickstarter is a re-lettered version of issue 0.
Yes.
Why do you feel the need to re-letter it?
Well, maybe some of that vocabulary is wrong. It's being lettered for the first time ever because issue 0 was a silent issue. We are big fans of the Marvel Comics, enough said, when they did that back in the day. So we did that with this issue, but we want to give Carla a voice because that story that issue does focus on Carla and her day. So we get an inside look at what it's like to date a superhero who is all well-being, ignoring her. While he's being this hero doing these things, he is standing her up. He is lying to her and things like that. So we get to see that experience, but we want to give voice to that and really get inside of Carla's head. While we do love the silent issue, we're getting to tell this story where Carla is a mainstay. She's a character that has created a lot of discussion. And I want to add more content for that discussion. So the first half of the story focuses on Carla. The second half focuses on how Hotshot actually gets his costume. And that one was written by Victor Dandridge. So it's a cool bonus that we think is a great way to say, hey, what can we do for old fans who've been riding with us this whole time? How can we sweeten this package for them and get them reinvested in the series? Well, we bring out 2 trades and we letter the actual 0 issue, and we think our fans that have been with us for a while will appreciate that, and then the new fans that are coming aboard get to see see us at our best with all the new content.
Sounds good. Just kind of polish it up a little for the new kids coming in, right?
Yeah.
I dig it. Anyway, right here is the address to get aboard the HotShot Express here. Definitely check it out. I guarantee I will be pledging towards that before the campaign is over, because I believe in it too. Because I like good stuff. But anyway,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir. But anyway, but no, I also like turning other people on to good comics and good projects and good people. So definitely check this out right now, and let's get Michael over his $7,500 mark so that he has to come up with more stretch goals. What a problem. Anyway, let's get to some of the comments we have here. Hello, Carl Witzman to Ninja Ganko. Yeah, Michael Watson, you betcha. Hey, Garlene, good to see you. Dan Hollifield of Stupid O'Clock, Thursday nights at 9, Saturday nights at 11 on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Thank you, Ryan Premison, for sharing this. And Ryan, we are well. Ryan, you've got a show you do every noon on Saturday afternoons. I think you need I think you need Michael on there. I think you need to get in touch with him. And I say that because he doesn't have enough shows to go to. That's all there is to it. He still has he still sleeps every night, so we need to take care of that. But anyway, I will be on that show this Saturday, and looking forward to that. And we'll get to your questions in a moment here. But Cindy Kep can't stay, but she'll front load some more jokes.
Garlene, good to see you.
Good to see that. And hello, Sarah. Sarah, spectacular guest you have this evening, by the way. Yes, he is. He is most epic. Well, we get to a couple here, and we'll flash some of your other comments, folks, across the bottom of the screen. But Michael, let's start out with Ryan asks, what were some of your favorite books growing up? Prose. Let's make it prose and comic books.
Well, I was not into reading. Not a big fan of it when I was little. I probably didn't enjoy like reading until I got to college, and I'm not college, but high school, and I read Beowulf. I thought Beowulf was fantastic, and it might be just because I really respected my English teacher, and I knew she wouldn't put any bull crap in front of us to read. But I really got into Beowulf. But as far as the only books that I was really reading were comic books, and I was a mainstream head. I really was new to the world of comics. I just started getting into comic books probably like my 6th and 7th grade. So I was X-Men all day, every day. X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, Spider-Man, all the Spider-Man comics, Batman, Superman. In other words, I was a basic comic geek, nothing outside the norm of that. And then I got to college, and I went to college at the Columbus College of Art and Design, and that was just a melting pot of people. So that's when my comic book world got opened up to other books that I was reading and checking out or whatnot. But basically anything with a good story, as long as there's a good story, good characters, I'll read it. I discovered Harry Potter. I absolutely love Harry Potter. I've read all 7 of those books, and I read the play, so big fan to that one. But right now, probably my favorite thing to read is My Hero Academia manga and Naruto. Those are the things that hold me down right now for superhero comic books. Invincible is my all-time favorite comic book. It's just incredible. When I go on trips, I take like the last couple issues with me for when I'm drawing and stuff or whatnot. But that's where I'm at on reading.
I like that. Well, I like Invincible. If it weren't for like the violence factor in it, it's one of the few comics I think in the last decades that have come close to capturing that same vibe as the early Ditko Lee Spider-Man.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
A lot of it's very, and you mentioned Naruto and stuff. I've read I think it's like the first 12 chapters, and there's been some like 8,022 or something more chapters, something like that. There's a lot of them.
There's a lot. The actual Naruto storyline from beginning to Naruto before we get to Boruto is like 711 issues.
Wow, holy cats!
But they're only like 15 to 16 pages depending on the book.
That's true. That's true.
And when the action picks up, there's not a lot of dialogue for the action, just because they're so focused on, it seems like they're focused on it. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but they're so focused on catching the fluidity of the movement of the action, like that. The action, that's why I like it though, man, because the action isn't just like punching somebody into a building or just a dope choreographed fight. The way that the characters move and breathe in the fight that they're trying to do is a story in all its own, because each character has a style of fighting, and they're dropping hints for how they're trying to take on their adversary. So
there's a lot of different fight choreography in there that I like too. I agree with you completely on that. And it's also individualistic. It's not like standard American comics, put your fist back and punch them sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, Sarah says, spectacular guest you have this evening, by the way. Indeed, I do.
Thank you.
And we love you, Sarah. And Ryan Permison wants to know what are some of your favorite movies or TV series?
All-time favorite movie, Lord of the Rings trilogy, original, Peter Jackson directed. That is the gold standard. Probably, there's a ton of TV that I like. Star Trek Discovery, Captain America and Winter Soldier. I know that's not the name that it uses, but that's the name that it transitions to at the end of the series. WandaVision. I am an MCU head. I love pretty much everything that they do. Some people will hate me for this, but I don't care. It's my own guilty pleasure. It's the greatest popcorn movie of all time. Fast and Furious franchise. Spider-Man 1 and 2, Sam Raimi editions, because they're still gold. They're still classic. Willow. Can't forget Willow. Willow's classic.
Yeah.
I'm a huge, I could actually do that list. I could do that. I can talk movies for 2 hours. I'm a huge movie buff. My TV is set up in the studio, so whenever I come in here and I'll start drawing, I just have on movies and TV shows while I'm working. So I rewatch a lot of stuff. Anime. I just love story and character. So I'm here.
That's great. That's great. Well, you and Ryan Permisson have got to get together then, because that's the sort of thing he covers too on his broadcast. So, is there a genre? You say that this is going to have like an ending. After that, is there a genre that you'd like to write for? Maybe that you haven't done before? Ignore the person who's leaving you crank messages in the private chat. It's me, folks. Anyway.
I don't know if there's a genre that I really want to write for specifically, more so that I want to be able to write challenging stories. Like in specific, like there's things that were done with Naruto, there's things that were done in Harry Potter, there's things that are done in Lord of the Rings that I want to have the ability to create in my own style. Like I'm absolutely new as a writer, so I'm still growing. And so there's a lot of little nuances that I respect and appreciate. Like, for example, in Naruto, the fact that, they paid off Naruto being bullied, hated, and picked on in his village for literally 400 issues. It took 400 issues for his village to finally see him as a hero. Yeah. And I used to get so mad after issue after issue after issue, like, do you guys not understand what this kid is doing for y'all? How many times he saved the village? And he just would not get any satisfaction. It'd be like 1 or 2 people would be converted Naruto fans, but the village overall still treated him like crap. Mm-hmm. But then the one time it happens, the entire village is there. And like they went crazy for Naruto. They were so happy and like they cheered him on. Like it was a moment like I read in the comic book and I literally cried because I had wanted this to happen for him for so much. And it's just like, the patience as a writer and creator to keep punishing our readers and our fans throughout this whole thing subconsciously puts you in that same journey as Naruto. You're experiencing the same amount of hate as Naruto is. So when it finally turns around and turns into something golden, you get all those feelings too, all the feelings of goodness that Naruto feels. You feel that as well. And there's still, I don't have enough patience as a writer yet. So that's the type of thing I want before I can settle on what genre I want to write on. I still have skills and patience that I need to learn as a writer.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the thing. I think especially we here in America and maybe Great Britain as well, the English speaking world, that we have been conditioned to serial fiction, never really changing. Stanley used to talk about the illusion of change, where like Peter Parker quits the Daily Bugle special collector's edition, and then like 2 years later he comes back and special collector's edition, Peter Parker's back at the Bugle. Watch, rinse, repeat. So and that's why I think it's kind of cool that you're doing something with a definite ending. Like Cerebus the art mark came to a definite ending, and that you have a story arc and you've got an ending in mind. I think that's refreshing as hell. I really do. Now, Ryan has another question here. Any special memories from conventions? Now, I know you do some conventions here, sir.
I absolutely love conventions. I have nothing but special memories at conventions. It's amazing. But my all-time favorite is a convention where it was in Columbus, and my nephew, my play nephew, brought his friend over to my table. And he was like, "Yeah, man, this is the book I was telling about. This is HOTSHOT." And he makes it. Like, yeah, it's a really good book. You need to pick it up. And so he got the #1 issue. And then, like 20 or 30 minutes passed by. He came back and got the #2 issue. And half an hour, 45 minutes goes by. He comes back and gets the #3 issue. So now my eye is on him, and I watch him, and he walks all the way to the corner of the convention, sits down, plops down, pops up the book, and starts reading it. Fourth comes over, half an hour later with my play nephew, comes back, and he doesn't have any money. So my nephew gives him money so he can get that 4th issue. Then he, half an hour later again, I see him dragging his mom by her arm, pulling her over to the table. And she's like, "What do you want? What? And he's like, "Can you get this next issue for me?" It's the 5th issue. She pays for it. It's 5th issue. And he doesn't even get away from my table. He starts reading it right then and there. I actually have a picture of it that I like to share or whatnot with people and stuff. And he's just reading the whole book because like that's the big fight issue. And then like he's back at the table. He's got the most beat up dollars that I've ever seen, but he doesn't have enough for the book.
Oh no!
So I just give him the 6th issue for free. And I'm like, dude, I've watched you hustle up and get all this money to get this book, and like watching you read the entire series up to that point that I had as a fan, like. You don't understand that when I was in the 6th grade and I discovered comic books and I read X-Men number 17 for the first time, like I was you and you were me. Like seeing you read that book was looking at little Mike Watson reading X-Men 17. Like this is why I make comic books. So yes, here you can have that. That's yours for free. That is my all-time favorite convention moment.
Oh, that is awesome. That is amazing. And Sarah, thank you for loving our countdown. That was courtesy of Kyle Guthrie, the skunk rocker from Stupid O'Clock. So we're proud of it too. Cindy Kepta asked, what did the clock do when it was hungry? It went back 4 seconds.
Okay.
See, Cindy loves you enough that she's left you some jokes, even though she's got to go. What do you call a boy with a car on his head? Jack. And let's see, I think we had and Most Epic is saying hello to everyone. I think I know that guy. Anyway, and Michael Watson is amazing. Love you, Michael. And
I love you too, Sarah.
And Eric Hawkins, good to see you, sir. And let's see. Oh, Cindy's left us a plethora of humor. And glad to see you here, Ted Davies Artistry. And I think I saw a question. Jeffrey Hayes, glad to see you here as always, sir. And let's see. Oh, and here we go. From the desk of Small Press Publisher, evening all. And 100 issues, says Joe D. McPhee, not lofty, but a sign that you are going to be dedicated to the series. How are you planning to deal with ebb and flow of the fandom for HotShot as you get further along in the series? That's a great question, Joe. Ooh. Thank you.
I'd probably need a little bit more clarification on ebb and flow. You mean I'm talking about as the fandom potentially grows?
Yeah, well, sometimes, there's the market itself ebbs and flows. You've seen that in your lifetime. And sometimes people may say, okay, I've collected 99 issues. That's enough. And maybe drop, you're always going to have somebody that maybe drops out of the series, but you'll get more people that show up again. And some of that can be an emotional roller coaster. How do you think do you have a plan in place for that sort of thing, or are you just going to wait for it to happen and deal with it then?
I don't have a specific plan in place for that. I just kind of take fans as is. If they're here for the ride, they're here for the ride. If they fall off, I like to have a conversation with them. I'm going to ask them what made you get off the bus? Because it may be something I missed, and it may be something that we disagreed on. But I always like to have those type of conversations or whatnot. I haven't really had too much experience with that. If someone didn't get on the bus, they didn't get on the bus right from the beginning. Or if they got off the bus, I didn't find out about it because they were at a comic book convention and they got a couple issues and then they never came back and bought any more. The level where I'm at right now, there are still millions upon millions of people who don't have the book. So I try to look at it more positively, as in if one falls off, I can pick up 2 or 3 more, just because there's so many people I have not interacted with, and conventions are opening back up. So that's really where I get to really mingle with people or whatnot. But we definitely got a plan for doing the 100 issues, and we've had plans before and they have failed.
Not this one.
This one's actually panning out, and it has put us back in the green to where we are, not only caught up, but we are paying forward now, and which is exactly what I want to happen. And we're at the point now with the Kickstarter. After this one, our Kickstarters are not only taking care of that book that we are promoting for that Kickstarter, but where it's giving us the opportunity to invest into the next book.
Nice.
And we just want to keep moving in that light. The work that I'm getting now is keeping me pretty consistent. So I'm going to be able to add on top of that. But we're definitely not going to stay stagnant. with it, even though the plan is working. Danny and I are still going to be looking for other opportunities and things to cushion and support, and maybe even have as a plan B or C at the same time. But one of the things that we definitely wanted to do is we wanted to stop treating each book as its own entity. Because if I came up with Hot Shot, I'd be like, oh shoot, I gotta hurry up and bring out Vigilance. I gotta hurry up and get out Heroes International, because I'm gonna have people asking for that. So we kind of kicked that idea to the curb, and now we're treating the books as its one ongoing saga. So when people come to the table and say, where's the next, you got the next issue of Hot Shot? I'm like, no, we have the next Freestyle Comics book, and that next book is Heroes International. So what we're doing is, on top of our books, we're doing our regular issue numbers. So each title has its own story that's telling Hotshot, Vigilance, Heroes, and Request. But underneath that issue number, we're putting the verse chapter. So Hotshot number 9 may be the 9th story in Hotshot, but it is like the 19th story in the Freestyle Comics saga. So we're trying to, that way we don't have to feel the pressure of trying to get 4 or 5 books out at once, and we still focus on one book every 2 to 3 months, and we give that book all of our attention, and then we work on the next one.
Very sane. That's a very sane schedule. I'm color me impressed. Cindy Kepsa asks, what's green and fuzzy and will kill you if it falls from a tree? A pool table. And
yes, it will.
It will. And what did the baby computer call its father? Data. And do you want to hear a joke about a piece of paper? Never mind. It's terrible. Anyway.
My daughter would love these jokes.
There you go. Well, believe me, Cindy's got more. CKOEPP.com. Check out her newsletter. Please sign up for that. And let's see. I think we had some more stuff. Let me scroll through your comments. Please keep them coming, folks, because you're what helps make this show work. And greetings from X and G Studios from to Mr. Watson. There we go. And also, don't forget, there's that link to get that Hotshot comic book package there. And let's see. Oh, we just had another comment dump. Oh boy, I like Rick Bradley. Good to see you. And he's wondering, you're talking to Brian again? Good God. Anyway. And Carl Wisman may have to duck out early. Why does everyone have shows and events at the same time? Just ignore the others, because no one else has Michael here. Just
there you go.
See, so I'm special. And Rick Bradley has a question for you. Noticing the voluminous action figure assemblage in your background there, which is your favorite?
Well, man, you guys ask these hard questions. But if I have to go with a figure as my favorite, I will go with my Lord of the Rings Balrog as my favorite figure. It's about 3 feet tall. The wingspan is about 3 feet long. It has light up and fire action. It is an exact replica of the Balrog from Lord of the Rings 1 when Gandalf stands up against it and says, "Thou shalt not pass." It was a very hard toy to get because Walmart and Target they control the toy market, and they would not carry the toy because they said it looks demonic, so they wouldn't carry it at all. And I happened to be at a Chicago comic book convention where they unveiled the Balrog for the first time, and they were selling them at a limited number. Mm-hmm. And I have never been the type of person to push and knock people down to get in line, but I was that day. And
good man.
And I bought it on the showroom floor. So I went through a lot to get it because I never thought I would get it because Walmart and Target wouldn't carry it. But I did not know they were unveiling it at the Chicago show that I was at. So getting that at the Chicago show, it's my biggest figure that I have, and it's amazing.
I want one now with all my heart and soul. What are you talking about? Damn, I'm going to put one on the front porch. And Sarah, we love you. It's great to see you back, hon. And to Ninja Genko, OG superhero Beowulf. Oh, yeah. And Rick Bradley asks, any authors you look up to who influenced your writing? Excellent question, Rick.
And I don't know his name, which is disrespectful, and I apologize, but the writer of Naruto, the writer of My Hero Academia, and Robert Kirkman. Robert Kirkman is an absolute beast when it comes to how he writes comic books and lays out stories. Big inspiration and influence with how I try to tell my stories.
Mm-hmm. Very, very cool. And Sarah says, "Don't get me started on clocks." Yeah, Sarah, I visited Sarah's house, and it takes 15 minutes for all the clocks to chime in her house. You know, it sounds like something out of a horror movie. It's really fun.
My goodness, that would freak me out.
It is a freaky thing. That's why she warned me, like, every hour, when you go inside, Brian, just be ready. Just be ready when you go inside. Rick say, okay, we got that one. And Joe Dog McKeel of Stupid O'Clock, Thursdays at 9, Saturdays at 11. You were just given a blank check, Michael, to remake any movie. What movie and what would you change?
You know, I remember specifically having this answer a couple weeks ago when I watched the movie. And now I don't know what it is. But if I had a blank check to remake a movie, and what would I change? Oh my goodness, there's so many that I hate and dislike.
I hear you.
There's a lot to choose from. If just to answer the question, I may come up with a different answer later. But I would remake The Scorpion King, because that movie was pretty good until they used that whack special effects to do The Rock.
Yes.
So that would be my change. Fixing the special effects so they still use the actor Dwayne Johnson in a rig of some sort.
Yeah.
On top of that thing, because that's when the movie just loses it, and it's just terribly annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, and even I would think, I seem to recall that even at the time, the technology exists that could have looked like something more than just a clothing store mannequin that vaguely resembled The Rock.
Yeah.
So
You're right.
I'm totally with you on that. Cindy Cap wonders, why did the cow cross the road? To get to the other side. And what kind of cats like to go bowling? Alley cats. What kind of
they do?
Yeah. What kind of bagel can fly? A plain bagel. And one more here. What did the spider do on the computer? She made a website. Okay, here we go. We love Cindy.
And these are gold.
And let's see here. Let me get back to the questions again, because we had some more. Joe D. McPhee from the Desk of a Small Press Publisher. Check him out at 10 o'clock on Saturday nights. He's got some great interviews. Question. With releasing a shared universe like that, are you not afraid of losing readers who may or may not want other stories in that universe? Are the stories, that's at least a question I was going to ask, are the stories in this universe so interconnected that you have to get them all?
No.
Okay,
there are specifically 2 arcs we're doing where all of them are going to be connected, where the idea is to get them, to get the whole story. But they're so far in between that we don't want to get on your nerves with it. The idea is not to do a summer event every year. Our story and progression of the characters are going to dictate when big world events like that need to happen in our books or are justified to happen. Other than that, we of course recommend that you read the books in the order that we have it set up for the ultimate read order, so you get the overall experience. But you don't have to read all the books to be intertwined in what you need to know. My thing is, I like to have as many books as our table as possible, because of course I try to sell all those books. It'd be great when someone walks away with all of them, but my goal isn't to sell all the books to one person. My goal is to sell one book at minimum to one person. I don't want you to walk away empty-handed. I want you to be able to find a book that you relate to, that you enjoy, and you're like, hey, this is something I can get behind. And if you want to explore the rest of our universe, you can. You have that option. And when I say this, I'm not trying to knock other indie creators or anything like that. It's just an option that's not offered by a lot of them. There are some that do this, but you can get one book and say, all right, well, I'm enjoying Heroes International, but there's only 4 issues of it out. Well, I know these other comics exist in the world. Well, let me try Vigilance out today. I'll go over and get that. You have that option to pick and choose where you want to jump in, and you don't have to get all the content at once. It's a casual crossover.
All right. Now, are your other titles being crowdfunded too, or just like the Hot Shot and the Chat and Draw ones that you did a few months ago? Which, by the way, were awesome.
Thank you. I'm hoping that I do not have to crowdfund all of them. The one thing that I want to do the one thing that we are going to do that we talked about is that when a book is a brand new title or is hasn't been available for a while, that we are going to do a 30-day Kickstarter for it, to get it back familiar with the fans. And we figure that's the biggest stage with our current audience that we can put them on. But once that has happened, then the next presentation would be a week or maybe a 2-week Kickstarter for them, just to get the book out as quickly as possible. So example with the current Kickstarter, the HOTSHOT Collection, which you guys should go pledge to and check out, is that if we hit $10,000, then we're going to give all the backers HOTSHOT number 10 for free, because that's the newest issue. But say, for instance, we've hit our goal, but we hit $9,999 and we don't unlock that, then our next Kickstarter will be HOTSHOT 10, but I'm only going to do that for like a week. And then we're immediately pushing the book out to get out, because at that point it's not going to be specifically about hitting the goal. It's just trying to promote it in the best avenue that we can. And then our new book, our newest title, Emerald Quest, which we currently have 3 issues done, we're going to do a 30-day Kickstarter for that first issue, but then moving forward a week to 2 weeks on Kickstarter, eventually having to kind of wane off of it to where we can just drop the books. My goal is to try to get enough cushioning up ahead so we can keep the new books in production. So once Danny and I look at that and we say, hey, well, we're floating pretty good, we can actually just drop this book on the website. We can actually just do an event for us all day on our website, stay on our social media, and say we're dropping a brand new issue today, available at the store.
That makes a lot of sense, because everyone who's ever done a Kickstarter knows it's a lot of work.
It is.
Yeah. And well, how what kind of organization do you have to help you get all these books out? Do you?
I have awesome people. Namely Danny Cooper, who's the editor-in-chief of Freestyle Comics. Veronica Smith, she is the associate editor. Danny also happens to be the lead letterer. Veronica's our lead colorist. Lori Foster from Unlikely Hero Studios says she's the inker for HOTSHOT right now, but she's been helping us in the back room terribly. Like it's been incredible getting her perspective, because she's a beast out here. I love how she runs Unlikely Heroes, and she's been bringing some of that savvy over with us, keeping things going. We have about 3 art teams that are putting these books together for us. That like Andy Shaggy, he's Shaggy. He's an editor on one of our new books called Taijutsu Gates, and I'm able to they have a chat group that they check in on every week as they do updates and stuff like that, and I can be pretty hands off with that. When Danny's over a comic or book, I can trust in that getting done. The only time that we sync up is when we're trying to sync up the story and we're trying to figure out what part of the bridge does this connect to. But as far as operations of getting the book done, I'm lucky that I've got some pretty amazing creatives who are, I trust that I can say, all right, you're in the driver's seat. Just let me know if something's going wrong and I can help you out.
That's cool. That is very cool. Keisha Acuff says, hello, beautiful people. Hello, Keisha. Hey. Wow, good to see you.
Thank you.
And Rick Bradley says, Masashi, I know I'm brutalizing that name. Kishimoto does Naruto. Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that, Rick, because we don't have time to look. And let's see here. And then and Sarah says, you guys are in bed with me right now. Don't tell the wives. I'll give you half an hour to draw a crowd. You know what I'm saying? Sarah, Cookie knows her. It's okay. So anyway, and to follow up from what Jody McPhee said from the That's a Small Press Publisher, depending on how many titles you run in that shared universe, it would increase the weight for the ones you want. But everything's coming out on schedule, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm not gonna BS it. Things coming out on schedule for us is gonna be something new. It's a new experience. I think the thing with the and I hate separating it like this, but I think the thing with the indie community is they're accustomed to the way comic books come out. When we first hit the scene, we dropped 3 issues in a row every other month of a full color 22-page comic book. and people were very ecstatic about that. I'm very excited about that because that was kind of unheard of in the indie scene and being a mainstream type of title or whatnot. And I've been wanting to get back to that level of production for years. Obviously, life being what it is and how it can come at you fast, limiting those type of options. But I think at the point right now, as long as we're coming out with content that people are happy with, which I'm not trying to brag and say I have this huge audience, but I don't get very many complaints on our titles. That as long as they are seeing that the content's coming up and there is a schedule for release that we are following, I think they will be fine with that. Because in all honesty, my brother Victor Dandridge had to tell me that you need to change, like we had to change the direction that the Kickstarter was going, because in his opinion, we were being stagnant. Because I didn't realize we hadn't come up with a new issue of HotShot in the last 3 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's just, time has just gone by. Like
Right.
I've been the publisher of Short Fuse, managing all those titles over there, and I'm like, oh shoot, you're right. So we had to look at how we were doing this Kickstarter so we can get content out and see. And that's the thing, like we literally have books, like 8 books that are in one of 2 stages, being colored or being lettered.
Wow.
That's where they're at right now. So we're going to have the content. HotShot 10 is being colored and lettered. HotShot 11 is being inked right now. HotShot 12 and 13 are already written. So my idea is to keep this wheel going and moving. And whichever book is up first or that gets done the soonest, that's the one I'm going to put out. But I'm also going to put this out and give each book some time to breathe, some time to shine at the same time while we're finishing up another book. So we're just going to go for it. And what you're saying makes a lot of sense. And that's a lot of consideration that we've been thinking about when doing this. And based off of our experience of going to comic book conventions and selling books, yes, I've had people say, oh, the new issue of HotShot isn't out. And we're like, well, I'll just wait till the new issue comes out. That's just going to be something that will happen. And, I can show them other books. But if they're a HotShot fan, they're a HotShot fan. And sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. So that's the L that I will just have to take until I can get that HotShot book out.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Now, Cindy Kemp had some more jokes here. What happened to the kid who refused to sleep? He was charged with resisting arrest.
Wow.
And what do you call a factory that makes average quality products? A satisfactory.
Okay.
And I was wondering why the Frisbee was getting bigger, and then it hit me. Yeah, we had Cindy on the show a couple weeks ago. We had to pitch in and get jokes to tell her. So it was quite a responsibility there. Now, right now, you mentioned that you are on an aggressive show tour to promote HotShot, to promote the Kickstarter campaign. How you do your own show, Chat and Draw, which is a brilliant show. How many episodes of that do you have out now?
We're about to hit 150 in the next 2 episodes.
Wow, because I think you were around 100 when last we talked. So,
Yeah.
Good man. So how does it feel to be on the receiving end of the questions now, rather than the one guiding the conversation?
It's very relaxing, man. I'm just chilling right now. A lot of weight off my
no
shoulders.
pressure on me.
Right.
It's up to the guy with the fez. Well, we got more stuff here from Cindy. What do you call a belt with a watch on it? A waste of time. And what do you call a can opener? It doesn't work. A can't opener. And what sound does a nut make when it sneezes? Cashew. And that is the end of Cindy Kemp's jokes tonight, folks. So please give Cindy Kemp some love. She has her own comic book out right now, Animal Eye #1. She has just passed her $3,400 goal. In fact, she is moving towards $4,000, at which point she will be relettering that entire issue for the foreign market. It's going to get translated.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, she's doing good. So please remember her too. But first, go to Michael and get HotShot. We need another $31 for him to make that 7,500 stretch goal. And I'm refreshing the screen. Hopefully, somebody will take it on now. And let's see here. And let's see, let's go to the other end. All right. And let's see here. Okay. And let's see. I've got some questions of my own. Now, I noticed on your Kickstarter thing, this is your second crowdfunding campaign, but you've backed 141 others.
Yeah.
What's the sort of thing that attracts you to a project?
Just a fun, interesting story. If your trailer is good, if your trailer can sell me on what you're doing, especially for somebody I don't know, a new comic that I've just met or whatnot, it's all got to be in your trailer. And then I'll go ahead and pledge and check it out. A lot of my pledges actually came from the Chat and Draw show, where I got to actually have these in-depth conversations and get to know people's characters and ask questions about them. I'm like, all right, yeah, I need to go back this. All right, this is looking really good. Let me go check this out. And plus, I'm a fan of several creatives as well. So, there are people like TJ Sterling, Kat, Victor Dandridge, Ren McKenzie, Lonzo. Like, if they just come out with content, Lori Foster, if they just come out with content, I'm in. Stephanie Menard, I'm going to get their stuff because I've gotten their stuff before and I want my next issue.
I hear you. Oh, that's great. And Joe Dog, thank you very much. I appreciate what you're doing. And Rick Bradley says, I'm happy to hear that you won't be doing a huge worldwide story arc every summer. Marvel and DC have definitely beaten what started off as a good thing to death. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, because it's like, I understand those big story arcs. I love having those big story arcs, but I think they do it too much. Like I said, every summer, every spring, we don't need a big revolving story arc. Just like give us stories with these characters on Earth. Like there can be good stories done like that, and I've enjoyed those as well. It should be a natural progression of things, and some things don't have to involve all the superheroes or all the stories at the same time or whatnot. But I mean, I guess it's just a balance, a balance of how you do it. It's just, I know there's two big arcs that we want to do. Our first one, which is coming up with HOTSHOT number 20, it's called Zero Event Emergence, and that will cross over into all of our books. That's going to be something that's going to be big. And then we have to deal with the fallout of that. We got to deal with the fallout of that. How is that handled? And then, start progressing our story and start, building our story back up and where are we going from that situation. And then over in Vigilance, there is a story arc that's going to happen that's going to close out her first 12 issues. That's going to be big, but it's going to be big in the world of Vigilance. It may pull a couple characters from other books in there or whatnot, but it's going to be her story mainly, and it's going to focus on her or whatnot. And then there's the other one that I want to do, which will be probably the way that I have plotted out. It's not till I think like HOTSHOT 55, and it's going to be that one we're slowly going to be building that up in the background of several different issues. So like that's kind of like the thing that we're talking about. That like if you want to get all the hints and like start building up your own theories, then yes, please partake, get all the issues and read them in order, because then you'll start to be able to put together a pattern. But again, you don't need to buy all the books for that, because obviously we're gonna have recaps at the beginning of each page. The big arc, whenever we do that, we're gonna provide you with the story that you need. This is just like, I like providing stuff for all levels of fandom. Just because we have that stuff going on in the background doesn't mean that you have to have that stuff in the background, because the comic that you're reading may talk about that situation on a news report in the comic. But we don't want people to feel pressure to get every single issue. When we do cross over all the characters and all the books, we want it to be worthwhile. We want it to mean something. Like, oh yeah, we had to go big in this one. Like even with the story arc, we're trying to figure out like what's the proper chapters for that. Like for Zero Event Emergence, I'm trying to decide, do I want to make it 5 or 7 chapters? And I'm talking with Danny, I'm talking with Veronica, when we're all talking, like trying to figure out like what's the balance, because I want the story to be just enough to where you're satisfied, where you can say it needed to be this many parts, but I don't want it to be too long, because I'm not trying to stretch it out to get more sales.
Right.
I'm not trying to get you to buy more books to buy this saga. I'm I want the exact amount of story that needs to be. So if it needs to be 5 parts, then it needs to be 5 parts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. I like that approach, because one thing that's annoyed me for the last several years was, writing for the trade.
Mhm.
Where, it used to be back in the day, you got a trade paperback of 6 issues. Those were 6 different stories. But now too many writers are saying, well, I know it's going to be assembled into a trade, so I'm just going to stretch one story out for 6 issues.
Mhm.
And as a consumer, I don't appreciate that. Or as a reader, it's like, a lot of writers I don't feel can tell a story as concisely as some of the old guys did during my misspent youth, and it's good to hear that you've got a plan for this.
And that's definitely my problem. Like, I know my weak points and I know my strong points, and I don't want to elongate a story revealing like, oh shoot, he's really messing up on the writing here because this whole issue we didn't need. I don't want there to be issues that you don't need. I want every issue to make its impact. I forgot what show it was. Revenge. I don't know if you remember the show.
Oh yeah. Shonda Rhimes show. Yeah.
Revenge was amazing.
Yeah.
All it needed was 2 seasons.
Yes.
That's it. Like at the end of the 2nd season, I was like, y'all don't need to do no more. Y'all can just wrap this up right here. This is it. This would be a banger, legendary series at 2. But then they had to go do more. They had to get greedy with more content. Then we had to go back to the past and back to this person's past. And like, that's all extra stuff just to get more showtime out. I don't want to get more showtime out. I want to get just the story out, the specific story that we're telling here.
Very good. Very good. Sarah asks, how do you find a good balance in everything you have to do for your work? Because you're not only, you're penciling this HOTSHOT, right?
Yes. You're
the penciler. You're the co-writer. You're also a prolific broadcaster. You're also crowdfunding.
Mm-hmm.
And you've also got a family, and you've got personal appearances and such. How do you balance all this out?
I don't. I fail at it every day.
Okay, good, man. Moving on then.
I try my best. I feel like I've gotten better at it as time has gone on or whatnot, but I still have my tendencies where I fall back into my old habits of just, working. And like Sunday, I took Sunday off. Was it Sunday? I took Sunday off, and was just watching TV shows and movies with my wife. And I didn't want to work on Memorial Day, but I still had some streaming shows to do. So we hung out at my father-in-law's house. We went to the movies to go see Cruella, which was amazing. I was very surprised by that being so good. It really was.
Good.
And then went to my father-in-law's house for the cookout, and the kids got in the pool and hung out. But then at 7 o'clock, I had my laptop with me. I had to jump on and do some streaming for an hour. Then we went home, and I did a little bit of work. And then I was just going to do a little bit of work, and then I got caught up into some work, and was my projected hour ended up being 3 hours or whatnot. So I am in no way, shape, or form perfect at it, but I feel like I have gotten better. It's just kind of just being self-aware, and kind of just like my legs and my waist start to hurt just because I've been sitting so long. So that's kind of like my self-conscious alarm to get up and walk away for a couple hours and come back or whatever.
I hear you. And quick aside to Eric Hawkins and Joe Dog. Thank you, Eric. I will do that thing you asked me to. And Joe Dog, appreciate your help. Trying to keep up on it too. And let's see here. From Deso Small Press Publisher. He isn't knocking your plan, Michael. He says you always need new content. I just think about these things as you move forward. So,
I don't think you were knocking my plan. If I came off like that, I apologize. I just felt like trying to explain to you where I was coming from with it, as like I've taken in what you said into consideration, and this is how I'm attacking it. But I apologize if I came off that way. I didn't think you were attacking it at all. I just thought of it as 2 creatives having a conversation.
Oh yeah. Just because you have different ways of doing, tackling a similar problem. Doesn't mean the gloves are coming off here. So it's all right. We love each other here. And Rick Bradley asks, how many times has the story caused your plans to change?
Couple times. It's happened more often than once. We have a very in-depth editorial process. Danny Cooper does, and It's been our failsafe, and we like to think it's pretty damn thorough. And we got all of Vigilance number 3 done. No, I'll do this one instead. We got all of Vigilance number 1 done prior to us getting our fail safes in place. Got it all lettered, got it all drawn and everything. And we had somebody to read the book, and they had no idea what was going on. They had so many questions. And so we sat down with the editor at that time and that same person, and they asked us those questions again while we were going through the book. And we ended up tearing out every single page of Vigilance number 1, laying it out on a table, and then reordering the pages, and then writing text over top of it to fix the text and fix what we were missing. So we basically re-lettered and renumbered the page order for that book.
Interesting.
That was crazy. That was very crazy.
Yeah.
So the story that we were trying to tell with that book was not being told. And we were so eyes to the board with our heads down, locked in and focused, that we didn't see that was happening. And we had to have an outside person catch that for us. And you know, Danny and I sit on the phone all the time while because literally he'll be lettering the book while I'm on the phone with him, reading the script and looking at the art, and we'll make tweaks and adjustments right there, like on the fly, with some things. And sometimes Photoshop work, like we'll say, well, this panel needs to be flipped. Can we move that hand up some? And then I'll take the panel and I'll Photoshop it and I'll fix the hand. Veronica is very well known for just fixing stuff that she sees, and like before it even gets to us, and we won't even know that something's wrong with it. Veronica just has already fixed it. So it happens a lot, even though we feel that we are very thorough in the script and layout pages or whatnot. Like Stephanie Menard just completed the script for Vigilance number 4. I sent it to Danny. I read it. I had my notes. We used Google Drive. Danny had his notes. He put them up on Google Drive. I combined all of them together and I sent them to Stephanie. And she's making those editorial changes or whatnot. Then when we get that finished, we're going to read it one more time to make sure it's good, give it to the artist, and the artist specifically requested that I work with them on the layout. So we're both going to do the layouts together, and we'll trade off or whatnot. Then once the layouts are approved, then the artist is going to go ahead and do the pencils. And not all the way to pencils, just a thorough layout so we can tell what's going on. So we will check that again against the script, and once that's good, we'll approve the pencils and the inks. And then after that we go to colors, and by that time when it's colors, it's in Veronica's hands, and she's very good at catching stuff and telling us what needs to be fixed or whatnot. And then it comes back to me and Danny for the lettering stage, because the lettering stage is kind of like our final editorial stage. And like I said, I'll be on the phone with him while he's lettering, and we'll be reading the lines out to each other, like, hey, does this sound right? Does this sound like somebody talking? Because even though we've read it several times already, it's a different perspective to look at it when the art's all finished and you're putting the letters on top of it.
Wow, that's cool. I love hearing that. I really do. Sarah says you went to see a movie at a theater. Theaters are opening back up now. You live in Ohio, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how are things opening up for you there? And how does this will lead to a question on shows? What does your in-person promotional schedule look like?
I was approved for Cherry Capital Comic Con. I'm approved for Gem City Comic Con and Baltimore Comic Con. Cool. So I'm trying to get back out to the show. So I'm there all day. But things have opened up here a lot. And the theater was not packed, so we were good. We had a theater all to ourselves. It was just it was Victor, Danny, and my family all together. We went out to the movies to go see Cruella. And then, so I mean, I've always been fine going outside because I have my mask, I have hand sanitizer, and I may be a little bit too confident, but like this is the first time that I have not been sick. Like the entirety of the pandemic, I normally catch 2 or 3 colds in a year. Yeah, but I have not been sick at all. And that's because I'm fist bumping. That's because I'm wearing my mask, because I have my hand sanitizer, whatever. But and I don't want to downplay the pandemic or whatever, but it's not at my age bracket. You know what I'm saying? Like even if I was to get sick, my chances of coming out are pretty good or whatnot. And I'm not trying to belittle it or downplay it or anything like that, because if I wasn't, I wouldn't be wearing a mask. I wouldn't have a headset. I would have all my kids and my wife. We all have FSK masks with all the characters on them and everything like that. We keep our distance and stuff, so we follow all the rules and things like that. But I'm just ready to get back out in the world, so I need a comic book convention like today.
I hear you. I did one a month ago in Hannibal, Missouri,
Mm-hmm.
and it was glorious. Plus, I did a book show in Peoria last weekend, and
Okay.
it was so cathartic. It was so nice to talk to people, other than just my wife or just like I'm here,
Mm-hmm.
like a face to face and hugging. We even dared to hug. That's what kind of daredevils we are. So
I feel it.
yeah, look out for me. I'm danger man. But no, I know what you mean. It's like I got to, wearing a mask, I got to breathe warm air when I went out during the winter. And I'm like you, I didn't get sick all year, and I'm usually good for a cold or two. But even once all the things get lifted, all the restrictions get lifted, I'm probably going to keep wearing a mask every winter at least.
Yeah.
So now this is a problem that a lot of prose writers have that Molly Daniels like know about comics. Do you ever have a character hijack your storyline and decide to do his or her own thing? Have you ever had a character that, you approved the plot and then the character said, no, we're not doing it like that. Here's how we're doing it.
I guess yes and no.
Okay.
It's not that they. No, not nothing like yes. Carla. Carla has been the most talked about thing about the HOTSHOT book. Is that out of the top 3 things that are always asked when people start reading the book, Carla is the number 1 thing that happens for discussions, which is why I want to give words to issue 0.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, it'd be Vigilance. Vigilance was like the second most asked about thing when she made her appearance in HOTSHOT, to the point to where we're like, all right, we're going to give her own book.
Mm-hmm.
So the 0 event was a big thing that people asked about, that we talked about on HOTSHOT, and now 0 event number 1 is coming out later this year. So now that I think about it, we had a lot of moments like that. While people still ask a lot of questions about HOTSHOT, and it's a very popular series still, there are several things that have bled from that book that has encased its own story and stuff.
Very cool, very cool. And remember, folks, HOTSHOT is currently being crowdfunded on Kickstarter. It has made its goal. So you are backing a winner. So check out HOTSHOT and all the various levels there. Like I said, I would like to see it get to 7,500 before the end of this program, and we've got $31 more to go. So check that out. We've just left a link for you up on Facebook and on YouTube. So please give it a look real fast and make this man smile. Bring some happiness to his life, would you please?
Yeah, we're super close to that next stretch goal.
Yeah, that would be sweet. Sarah wants to know, what does your wife do? Does she have a hand in any of your works?
My wife actually works for the city. She handles a lot of the payroll for all of the government workers and government officials and stuff like that, and the trash men and city workers and stuff. She handles all the payroll for all that stuff. When she can, she does help me with some of the computer work, like helping with the email, get the email list together and stuff like this. And I might show her 1 or 2 tricks of Photoshop of something simple that she can do or whatnot. But she helps when she can.
That's excellent. So we've run out of questions. Please keep them coming, folks. Now, this is your second crowdfunding campaign. What did you learn from the first one that you could apply to this one?
Apparently nothing, because I redid the Kickstarter.
Well, honestly, that counts for something.
It does. So technically, Short Fuse has put on my first 3 Kickstarters, which were very successful. So these are this one and Chat and Draw, the first ones I've actually done on my own page. And one of the things that I learned was fill out the items list first. There's rewards, there's add-ons, and there's items. Items is the last thing. Items should be the first thing, but go to items first and put all of your rewards in items first. Do that before you do anything else when it comes to rewards, because then when you make your rewards or your add-ons, you can just pick the items because you've already made them.
Okay.
And it will help make your count go easier. Like once you get done with the Kickstarter tells you everything that everybody gets, right? But it's by person. So what I want to see now is I want to see how many items of each thing do I have to get printed, how many items of each thing I have to get made. So when you do the items, then you can do a count, and then you can say you may not need to order as many books as you want, or you can order more books than you thought you could by knowing those numbers.
That's very cool. Very cool. And if nothing else, if you want to get the stuff out, at least you've got it in your items, even if you forget to make a gift level for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's brilliant. Very, very cool. And Sarah says, wow, props to you and your wife.
I will let her know. Thank you, Sarah.
There you go. And Rick Bradley asks, what is your process when you create a character?
Oh, dude. So I have a really good story for that. I hope you're ready because this is about to be crazy.
I'm braced. Bring it.
Okay. So one day I was upstairs vacuuming the living room. And I was vacuuming the living room, just cleaning it up. And I was kind of just because I have art hanging up in my living room or whatnot. And I was looking around at it and I was like, I don't know why, but I was looking around at it and I was like, I wonder if the doctor who helped birth me, who helped take me out of my mom, if that doctor saw me today, would that doctor be proud of me and the person that I am now? And I was like, because I'm making comics. I'm doing podcasting. I'm making comic books. Art is my career. So would this doctor be proud of this baby that he or she brought into the world? And then I got to, as I'm pushing the vacuum, but thinking like, what if they weren't proud of it? What if they thought art was stupid and it was a waste of time? What if this doctor kept tabs on certain, patients? But wouldn't be able to keep tabs on certain patients because if they were in a public hospital, then how could they keep tabs? Okay, no, they're not in a public hospital. They're in a private practice, and then they keep track of all their patients. So then they'd be able to check the folders and follow up with each one of these kids to see what these kids are progressing to. And then if they were checking up on me for my annual review and saw that was art and thought that was stupid, then maybe they would call me in for a checkup just to see if everything was going fine, because now this is a personal doctor of mine, right? This is the family doctor. And I go in all hunky-dory thinking everything's, he just wants to see what's up. And then all of a sudden the chamber fills up with gas and I pass out. And then I'm strapped to the table and I wake up and this doctor's hands are glowing. And all of a sudden the doctor turns me back into a baby. And as I'm turned back into a baby, I'm losing my mind. I'm going crazy. Why am I being turned into a baby? And all of a sudden I'm done. I am back as a toddler, fresh out of the womb, getting wrapped up and dressed, and all of a sudden I'm being given to a different family to restart my life because he felt my life was a disappointment and they wanted to put me on a different track. But then what would this doctor's goal be? Why would this doctor be doing this? Because he's obsessed with perfection and he or she feels like everything that they touch has to be perfect. Anything associated with them has to have a grand design, a grand ending. So how would I incorporate this into a story? How would I make this happen? I could just have news articles or newspaper clippings in the background slowly built up over 3 to 4 issues about random people disappearing. Mm-hmm. But then the doctor would happen to have files on HOTSHOT, but not knowing that HOTSHOT was a superhero, he would see that I'm a struggling college student whose girlfriend thinks he's cheating on her and he's failing out of college and about to lose his scholarship. So he kidnaps me as a superhero, puts me on a table, and I'm like, why are your hands glowing? What are you doing? I'm like, oh man, can I reveal my superpowers right now? Nope, this is one of those situations where I just got to go for it. And I start fighting this doctor who's the baby napper, and I've cracked this case of 100 kidnappings, and that can be a side arc story in HOTSHOT.
If you and Victor don't write that, I will. Of course, also he could start his crime spree in an old age home.
Yeah.
Where people are about to die anyway. That's expected. And if somebody says, well, he wanted to be cremated. See? Yeah. I used to
There
work
you
for a
go.
cemetery.
There you go.
See?
That's my process.
I love it. Oh my God. It sounds so much like mine. It's, it's the sort of thing. That's why my NSA, I don't really share a lot of it like in correspondence because my NSA agent drinks already. I've driven him to drink. So anyway, Rick Bradley says it's fun to listen to, man. I'm digging this totally. And so, like me, says Rick Bradley, your brain takes a normal everyday thing and just run to the other side of the galaxy with it.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's it makes a lot of sense because I think it was Stephen King used to talk about taking the familiar and finding the frightening in it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Well, think about you think about a lot of the stuff. Like a prom is not in itself frightening, but what if you douse the homecoming queen with pig's blood, and it just turns out she's a telepath with a lot of issues, and she's got a lot of issues she needs to work out. And here's a room full of victims, or there's a small town. Well, it just happens to be infested with vampires. Oh well, so. It's a familiar thing, but just finding something that's really scary as hell about it. So I'm loving this story. If that doesn't sell your future volumes of HotShot, I don't know what will. And Molly Daniels, who is an author herself, says that was great. You probably got half my audience scribbling down that plot as fast as they can write. So,
I mean, like you said, it was just simply wandering. I was just trying to come up with different side stories that that could just be built up behind the scenes, and then all of a sudden you get here, but then you look like, well, how did we get here? And you look back 3 or 4 issues, like, oh, they were dropping the seeds for this a little bit ago.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Now, how far ahead do you intend to foreshadow? Do you drew do you drop hints now that may have like years before they're fulfilled, or are you kind of like fairly immediate?
Some of it's immediate, but like we are dropping some hints for one thing with one of the main characters right now that nobody has I will say one person has figured out, but nobody else has. And I'm not saying who that person is because then they would know that they're right, but
we can't have that.
Right, we can't have any of that, but like we are dropping those things in the backgrounds of these stories and stuff like that. Danny Cooper is taking over writing for Heroes International, and he's got some pretty off the wall stuff that he's going to be doing right there. But that's what we're thinking about when we're making these stories. Like when we have these arcs that we're writing, like, well, where's the steps that get us here? The one big crossover with that, the second one that I want to do is with one of our villains called Dragoness, and without any spoilers,
yes,
both appearances of Dragoness are the start of her crossover. Like, but her crossover, that big crossover that's going to pull in all of our heroes, that's not happening like HotShot 55. But we're on HotShot 10 right now, and we're dropping her hints for how she gets there. Now that's nice. Already happened.
Very cool. I like that. From Odessa, Small Press Publisher says, something you may know, we have a fan in common who wants us to collab at some time. Do you have any words for Brad Arney on making that happen?
Yes, Brad is awesome. He's one of our editors now, working on one of our books. But yeah, he's hit us with a couple crossovers ideas already. So we're like, there are a few that we want to explore, and we're trying to figure out how to make it work with our characters. And I don't want to sound like a megalomaniac or anything like that, but we just
sound like it. Go ahead.
But we just have some specific rules with how our characters get powers or whatnot, which kind of make it difficult to write in for other people or whatnot. So we're trying to work around some of that stuff now.
Okay. Well, can you reveal what those rules are?
In our world, there are entities of light and dark that kind of like shepherd over each planet or each galaxy or whatnot, and they keep the balance of light and dark. So like, and in that form, they gift powers to people they feel are appropriate champions for that lightness or that light or darkness, and they keep it balanced. They keep it 50-50 on each one of these planets, and that's how. None of our heroes or anybody knows that, but that's how powers come into play in our world. Like you may accidentally fall on some gamma radiation and get superpowers, but it was because that entity of darkness put that in play to happen for you to get those powers or whatnot. So, and that goes to an overall umbrella that we have in the background of, well, where do these entities come from? Who's managing over these entities? And that's all going to circle back to our big conclusion in HOTSHOT 100. So again, so we are dropping stuff all the way in issue 1 that will be leading up to these type of things. So, and I know everybody has, most creators have like a specific way that the powers affect their world. So we've started like history building. And so that's where we kind of get into the problem, because we want to bring other characters in, or we want to do crossovers, but the history is kind of where we hit the wall with some of this stuff. So we're trying to find workarounds.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do when you get to issue 100 and suddenly come up with a plot for 101?
It won't involve, I will say that it will not involve Mike Watson as HOTSHOT. Now, I'm not saying that another person won't take over the HOTSHOT mantle or whatever, but that is the plan. That Mike Watson as HOTSHOT does have an end game.
Very cool. Very cool. Now let's get back to the campaign here. Still need somebody to come up with $31. We want to get that $7,500. Don't make me have to do it, because I'm in Dutch with my wife already for all the Kickstarters I backed in the last month. And Carleen, if anyone could lift my owner, it would be Joe Dog McKee. And thank you to Joe Dog for his heroic efforts earlier. So anyway, Michael, how did you talk about some of the rewards? See, I keep wanting to call them thank you gifts, because I used to work in PBS. And that's what, when you pledge to PBS, they're called thank you gifts. And I'm trying to teach myself to say rewards.
Awesome. All right. Well, as Tessa Kerr told me, I'm trying to not say donate to people. I'm trying to say backing, because
backing, yeah,
they're
that's another one.
They're backing us.
Yeah.
So we're all working on something.
I bring it down, backing.
Well, the main thing is that the big thing is that we're collecting HOTSHOT Volume 1 and Volume 2 in the 2 trades. Where you can get, in Volume 1, you get HOTSHOT 1 through 4. In Volume 2, you can get 5 through 8. You can get 0 as an add-on with the new letters, and number 9 as an add-on as well. But some of the specific rewards, trying to create rewards for all types of fans. The new fan, the pandemic fan, the crazy fan that has to have everything, and just the person that just wants to read exactly what they want to read. So our we got like let's see here, a level 2 that just gets you Volume 1 and a couple of digital rewards or whatnot. I've added a 1.5 level that gets you a digital copy of Volume 2 or a digital copy of Volume 1 for those that just want that and just want to read it. Some of my favorite tiers are artist exclusive tiers, and I like to consider this or speak more on this for people that are collectors. When I get trades of a series, I like to, if I get a trade, that means I'm getting a trade because I want that to be my reading Bible. That's the one that I want to keep picking up. That's the one I want to flip through and read. And I want to keep a separate floppy of a number 1 by itself, unopened, sealed, preferably signed. So we got the idea to do exclusive variant covers with some high caliber talent. Our first one is Ren McKenzie. He is a fantastic artist who loves to destroy paper, and he did destroy this cover for us of HOTSHOT being battle damaged and flying back into the fight. That tier is $45. So with the artist exclusive tiers, you get the variant cover, and you get the Volume 1, and you get the relettered issue 0 plus a print of the variant cover. And that's how all of our exclusive artist tiers work. We've got the cover by Seth DeMoose, who is an amazing artist as well. He's done a lot of things I'm a big fan of. He did an homage cover of Todd McFarlane's Venom vs. Spider-Man for us, which is fantastic, which I colored that one. Nice. Sorry, let me back up. Ren did the pencils and inks on his cover, and Veronica Smith did the colors. Seth did the pencils and inks on his cover. I did the colors on his. Then I got a little fancy with my tier because I'm the creator of it. I have my variant cover where HOTSHOT's blazing with a bunch of fire coming out of his hands, but you can upgrade this one for $20 more to a hollow foil cover.
Oh, nice.
One of those nice shiny joints.
Ooh, yeah.
Then we had the amazing Victor Dandridge dust the 8-bit art off. He hasn't done it in about 6 years. So he did an 8-bit digital cover for us, which is a wraparound feature of HOTSHOT and all his digital glory. It looks just like a Nintendo video game because not only did he draw the picture in 8-bit art, but he did the title, the graphics, our graphic bar, and everything in 8-bit art.
Nice.
Then we had the phenomenal Sean Hill do us a black and white cover where he did the pencils and inks of Void fighting HOTSHOT. It looks like HOTSHOT is struggling for life in this picture. It's so cool. Then we have level 10 Ryan Robinson, who is somebody who has stormed onto the art scene for the last year or so. He did a full-blown painted cover of Carla and Mike with the photo being torn in half with that tier. And then we have the Collector's Fest. You can get all the variant covers plus Volume 1 plus Volume 2 of the HOTSHOT trade and the relettered issue 0 variant cover for $125. You can get all of those.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of good levels here. Something for everybody. Something for just... And what is this, a 6-song digital soundtrack?
Yes. We have original music that was created. We have original music that was created by some individual artists from here in Columbus and Cleveland. I let them read the books, and then I said, whatever you guys come up with is okay with me. I just wanted to see how you guys tell a story.
Oh, nice. And I see also if anyone's listening and owns a shop or knows someone that does, there is a retailer exclusive tier with 5 copies of the first trade, 5 copies of the second trade, and 10 copies of an exclusive signed print.
Yes, there is. I tried, like I said, we tried to consider all levels of fandom.
Yeah, definitely. And then there's the $150 level, the level 15, where you get just about everything. Michael will sweep his floor, toss that in there too. You never know.
Right.
And you've got one that's sealed and graded.
Yes, we do.
Holy cats! You mean like slabbed and stuff, right?
Yep.
Wow. Holy cats, that's amazing. Plus, you get the 6-song digital and the digital postcard and the tablet, cell phone, computer art. And the thing is, I'm also noticing, just when I think I've gotten to the end of this thing, level 18 at $220, you will get a spot on Chat and Draw.
Yep.
There we go, which is a terrific show that Michael does. And another retailer exclusive tier with more copies and more savings. And you can also get an original page or an original pencil cover from the HOTSHOT series. And the thing is, I'm noticing, that almost all these have at least one backer in them. So that shows people are interested. And you sponsor an exclusive tier of the Mona Nui podcast?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Holy cats. And the advantage here and whole bunches of stuff. And just when, and there's another retailer tier just when you think we're done. And then just about everything. Please check this out. There are a lot of great levels, a lot of great rewards. And yes, I am entertained just reading all this stuff. Holy cats. Oh man, look. And this one is just like, Michael Watson empties out his back room for that one. So,
yeah, that's the kitchen sink.
That is, holy cats, that's amazing. That is very, very cool, my friend. I love it. Like I said, I will definitely be backing this before this campaign is over. And let's see, and we are caught up on all the comments still. So let's see what else we got here. So what did I forget to ask you?
I don't know. You're pretty thorough. You're pretty thorough with these interviews, man. That's why I wanted to come on here.
Well, I love having you on here, man. I don't get to talk to you enough, so. So I'm thinking, why don't we call it here?
Okay.
And thank you to everyone who has given you those great questions. Thank you to Cindy Kempis also for those fantastic jokes. That means she loves you, Michael. And thank you for everyone for being here. Now, Michael, I'm going to give you the floor one more time and tell everybody how they can keep up with you and tell them a little bit about Chat and Draw while you're at it. Why don't you?
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, again, I'm Mike Watson, and I'm the founder and publisher of Freestyle Comics, and I am the co-creator and lead artist on HOTSHOT, our flagship comic book. Our Kickstarter right now is for that book, and we have 10 issues of it out. So this is actually a comic book that you can get the first issue and have time to enjoy more than one issue. You can read this at your own pace. You can get all 10 now, or you can get one or two. Basically, you can get the trade or both trades. It's all based on your convenience. We really appreciate and would love to have your support on this series, as we're also offering up the entirety of the FSK library. We have a total of 19 books, in our whole verse that we're doing right now, with plenty more coming. I do a show called Chat and Draw, which is on several times during the week, but my main day is Wednesday at 8 p.m. Is when I do that show. So please come check it out, because I normally have a bunch of guests come on to the show and I draw their characters while talking to them in an interview style, such as this show. But Brian does it better than I just draw. So the Kickstarter is live. We still have 21 more days left on this Kickstarter. What we're really shooting for, we've hit our goal, and I want to thank everybody so much for that. It's truly, truly appreciated. We have plenty of stretch goals. The big stretch goal that we're going for is 10,000, 10 for 10. If we hit $10,000, we are giving everybody the brand new HOTSHOT number 10 issue to go along with their collection. So as you can see, we're trying to set this up for you to be on the bus, on the train, on the airplane ride for what's called Freestyle Comics. I can pretty much guarantee that you will not be disappointed. There's a character in our world for you, if not a book in our world for you. Give us a chance. Give us a chance. If you guys are comic book fans, you've been out there for Marvel, you've been out there for DC, Image and Boom, just like I have. But give an indie creator with a extensive library of books a shot. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed.
That's fantastic. And I would like to echo everything Michael just said. You see a lot of people on Kickstarter that you can tell they're just hobbyists of this. Mm-hmm. But, you can also tell when you go through the Kickstarter campaign that Michael is committed to this. He's committed to making top quality comics, and he's a good guy. And even though now I'm impinging on his territory here. I drew that while you were talking, Michael. So look out, buddy. Look out, buddy. I'm hot on your heels now. Anyway, Dan Hollifield, thank you very much. Appreciate your being here. And hello, there's the Historical Fancy Guild. Hello, surfing in between broadcasts. Michael Watson is a great creator. I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you, Nick. And also check out the Historical Fancy Guild every Friday night at 8 p.m. where he teaches you how to kill people safely. But anyway, it is. It's a fun show. And like I said, I'll get you and him on, and nobody will even know I'm gone. But anyway, thank you as always, Michael, for being here, man. You are fantastic. I love watching your growth, man. I seriously do. It makes me happy. It really does. Now, if I can get you to stick around so I can say goodnight to you properly. All right. So hang out, finish the rest of your meal, and we'll talk to you after we run all the credits here. Thank you again, Michael Watson, for being here, my friend. What a great guy. And please, I implore you, like I said, I am going to pledge for this probably before I go to bed while Cookie's out of the house before she can kill me. Anyway, thank you all for being here. Thank you for, and I am all for it. This could be dangerous. Thank you, Nick. But anyway, thank you all for being here. Thank you for asking your great questions of Michael Watson. And Rick Bradley, thank you very much for helping make it an awesome show tonight. And a special thank you to Joe Dog McKeel for helping keep order around here. I really appreciate that. That was great. And thank you for your questions, and just can't thank Michael Watson enough. Please check out his Chat and Draw. Please check out his, I'm going to put it up here one more time, for HOTSHOT. Like I said, this sounds amazing. This sounds really, really good. And, I don't have to tell you guys and gals, when I endorse a project, I do it because I believe in it, and I believe in the people that do it. So please, we got to support the good guys, and Michael's definitely top among them. So if you want to read a quality product, check out HotShot, the trade paperbacks, funding now, actually funded on Kickstarter. All we're waiting now is for the campaign to end, because I want some of this too. But if you want to see some of those stretch goals come to life, please check out HotShot on Kickstarter at this address here. I would appreciate it, and so would Michael. He's definitely rising tide. He's a great guy. And someone else who's rising tide is Jeffrey Hayes. He is responsible for sponsoring this episode, as always. Thank you to Jeffrey Hayes and Plasma Fire Graphics. When the look of your book matters to you, because it matters to your readers. They also dig your promotional graphics and the great trailers that Jeffrey can make, all at affordable prices. So please, please, please check out plasmafiregraphics.com and his Facebook page when the look of your book matters to you. Also want to thank the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, 7 days a week of entertainment and information. Tomorrow, I have to remember what day of the week it is. Tomorrow morning, never mind the furthermore, will be occurring at 10 a.m., starring myself for some creative conversation and lots of coffee. Believe you me, it'll be necessary. But anyway, please check us out tomorrow morning. Also, thank you to our Patreon people who you see here on the screen. For just $1 a month, you can get mentioned in all of our public Rising Tide publications, as well as our broadcasts. And for a little bit more, you can see our works in progress, like the upcoming Terrors novel. They're going to get to read it first. So if you want to be one of those people to get some sneak peeks and some special contact with me as a creator, check me out. Please become one of my patrons at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And while you're at it, please go to Amazon and check out my new book, Snow Ambition, number 4 in the Snow Short series. You don't need the first 3, although it would be swell if you did buy them all. But anyway, it's only 99 cents, available right now on Amazon. We'd really love to see you pick that up too. And so again, one and all, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your great comments. And 6 hours left. That's... You wish. Anyway, we're not going to subject Michael to that. But anyway, folks, thank you again for being here tonight. Appreciate you all. Hope you have a great day. Next week, our guest is going to be Grant Lankard, who is just, as of today, I believe it is, or yesterday, today, launched his Kickstarter campaign for Beowulf 2. So we'll be grilling him next week. He's one of us, and we'll see how things have differed for him in the time that he's done 1 and 2 here. So he'll be on next week at 8 p.m. As always, clever title pending. And don't forget to check out the rest of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network schedule, because they're all pretty darned awesome too. And I got to the right place for our sign off here. So anyway, thank you all for being here. Appreciate you all. And we'll see you tomorrow on Never Mind the Furthermore, and next week on Clever Title Pending. So as always, folks, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you for watching Clever Title Pending.
Hello there, super friends. I'm Kelly Gettner of Phoenix Sisters Cosplay, or you might just know me because you're interested in the Virtual Super Friends Celebration. If you don't know what the Virtual Super Friends Celebration is, I'm here to tell you about it. This is a perfectly free virtual convention that's coming up Friday, June 11th through Sunday, June 13th. This will be hosted on Phoenix Sisters Cosplay, our YouTube, and our Facebook. I hope you join us.